Write this down.
And keep track of each other's batting averages.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
It's Write That Down with Mackey, Judd, and Rami.
Write that down. I don't have a pencil. Well, remember that down.
Welcome in to the only segment in sports talk that actually holds each other accountable for the things that we predict and say. This segment is called Write That Down, and here's how it works. 3 predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable in some form. Ideally, they have an expiration date as well, so we can avoid the Larry Brown fiasco.
It's not a fiasco.
It's a fiasco.
No, it's not. People die. It just takes a long time sometimes.
I saw some article that there was a Larry Brown. A Larry Brown was hospitalized with COVID or something. It was a different Larry Brown.
Oh,
I don't know if it was like a politician or something.
It's entirely possible.
So they must be quantifiable. Ideally, they have an end date of some kind. We keep track of batting averages and home runs. And if you, as a listener, would like to participate in this segment, you can shoot me a DM on Twitter at Phil Mackey. Even if I don't follow you, my DMs are open. Whether you want to be a part of Write That Down or you just want to, I don't know, if you want to complain about something or tell me I'm an idiot, you can just DM me at Phil Mackey.
Larry Brown, by the way, only 80. Okay, so he's a young man. He's
high risk.
He's a young man. He could coach again.
I would say it's more likely he expires than coaches again at this point.
Look,
throw it out there.
Who's to say a team won't get desperate? Okay.
In fact, I might counter your prediction today by just predicting.
Oh,
all these years later.
Write this down.
I want that point. So, all right. So today's guest listener predictors are going to be Mike and Sam. So we've got our linebacker crew here today. It's great. Mike and Sam.
Well played.
Wow.
See what I did there?
Well played.
So we'll get to you guys in just a second. Let's get Will on, and then we'll have all 3 of them. It'll be really fun. Just some football jargon there. Let's get to the accountability session first, though. Let's get to Judd. Batting average leader, Judd Zulgad.
Oh, wow. This was a bad week. Dex, I wouldn't get too cocky.
That's fine.
I wouldn't get too cocky.
If you're coming down with me, you're coming down with me.
All right. Judd Zulgad predicted that you were excited about this one at first last week. You said the Titans and Steelers game will be played on Sunday or Monday, and then right after our show was over, it got moved to Monday, but then it just got moved entirely. You said Kenta Maeda will no-hit an opponent through 7 innings and then be lifted from a postseason game.
He couldn't even get to 7 because of Rocco being too scared.
It wasn't his fault. You said Byron Buxton will be MVP of the World Series. Then, a few months later, you then predicted the same thing. You said Byron Buxton will be the World Series MVP in 2020. Ordinarily, we would have spotted that and made you change the prediction. We didn't.
That's fine.
So you just get it wrong twice.
That's fine.
You said the Vikings will have fans at their 3rd home game of the season. They've announced that there will be no fans in that Atlanta game next week.
You are correct.
You said Barrios will win the Cy Young Award and start Game 1 of the World Series.
Oh, man, a big swing.
You said Kenta Maeda will win at least 1 game in the playoffs out of the bullpen.
Oh, that was
the beginning?
After they acquired him, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then you said Max Kepler will be named MVP of the 2020
that was a terrible prediction. Among all these predictions, that was easily the dumbest.
But here's the bad news for Declan. There's a page 2 for Judd. And it includes a lot of green.
Oh, wow, Declan. See what we have here. This is called one's comeuppance.
Judd Zulgad said Jose Barrios will start. This is when he was struggling. That he will start in the first round of the MLB playoffs.
Yes!
That the Wild will trade Devin Dubnyk this offseason.
God, I swing a lot. I just swing so much.
That the NFL will have at least diagnosed 2 players with COVID and will not stop playing.
Yes! Shoot your shot. That's what I do.
And that Mikko Koivu will not be back with the Wild next season.
Did I?
Judd Zulgad.
Let me clean those cleats off, boys.
Starts the game 0 for 9 and says, give me the ball.
Give me the ball. Yep. I shoot my shot.
Next one.
Some guys do it in dating. Some guys do it and write that down.
Declan, you can learn a lot from Judd here. In your personal life and
Yep.
Shoot your shot.
Yeah, there's another topics we don't get into.
All right.
What's the term? Shooters got shoot. What I do?
Shoot or shoot.
Shoot or shoot. I shoot. I'm Jimmy Butler.
Last year's defending, reigning batting average champion, Jonathan Harrison.
Snookered us all.
It's a rough week for him. By the way, he's been hosting still pre, half, and post game for Minnesota United games on Score North, and so I run into him last night. He would like to come in and at least have a chance to make some predictions before the end of the year. So we might have to get Jonathan on.
No reason why he can't.
Yeah, no, Jonathan, if you're listening, you will not be able to predict all of the bowl games again like last year, which is how he won.
We were idiots.
So he said the Twins will play the Yankees in the ALCS and will beat them in 5 games. He said the Lakers will make the playoffs as a 1 seed. This is a parlay, which they did. He said LeBron James will be named Finals MVP, which he probably will, but that the Lakers will lose just 2 games the entire playoffs. I think they've lost 4, if my math is right. He also said the Twins will sweep the Yankees this season and in the playoffs. And even though they haven't played the Yankees, I think this one has to be wrong.
It does.
Because they didn't sweep the Yankees.
Yeah,
So
it's wrong.
It's wrong.
It's wrong.
Yep. So that's an 0 for 3 for Jonathan Harrison. Manny Hill said the next NFL season will be the final season for Bill O'Brien as the GM and head coach of
Bravo,
the Texans.
Manny. Bravo,
Nice
Manny
job,
Hill.
dude. Good foresight. Rami Makloff said the Twins will win the division and go to the American League Championship Series. Well, they won the division, but that was a parlay, so
yeah,
got to get them both right. And we'll just skip past me, and we'll just go back to Rami there.
Whoa, what happened?
This is bad.
This is bad.
This is really bad.
Not if there's a page 2 for you.
I feel like the second half of my season is like one of those Brian Dozier second halves where he just hits like $150 and strikes it every
There's some
time.
bombs involved.
Mostly in 10-1 games.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's still a bomb.
I said Josh Donaldson will be at the center of at least 2 bench clearing incidents for the Twins this season.
You meant internally with his own teammates.
And with
his manager
with umpires. And stuff,
yes,
yeah.
I know what you meant.
I said Josh Donaldson will homer against the Yankees in the postseason. I said the Twins will play in the World Series this year. I said in that World Series, Kenta Maeda will strike out a Dodger. I said the Twins will win the World Series in 2020. I said Donaldson will be the MVP of that World Series. I said Jose Barrios will throw a no-hitter this year. Donaldson will hit a home run in his first postseason at bat.
Bring rain.
The Vikings will start 0-5. And Luis Arias will have at least 2 hits in game 2.
However,
there is no however.
There's no page 2. As page 2, Paul Harvey.
There is no page 2. That's
Page
That's the only page for me.
And now you know the rest of the story.
I used to love Paul Harvey.
That was Phil Mackey, and now you know the rest of the story. Good night.
All right, listeners. Justin in Rochester said the Twins will not knock the Yankees out of the playoffs. The low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Nice job, Justin.
That's a really good interpretation of the rules of this game.
Dan C. said Jose Barrios will be the 2020 World Series MVP. Bryce said the Twins will beat the Dodgers in 7 games in the World Series. Josh said the Twins will win the World Series this year.
man.
Teague had all these sort of tie-ins to like the 2006 Twins. He said in 2006, Nick Punto, the third baseman for the Twins, had 28 extra base hits. Donaldson will have more extra base hits than Punto did in 2006 in a shortened season. Well,
didn't play enough to even come close.
And Alex said Rich Hill will have more playoff appearances than regular season appearances. Actually, we have more carnage for listeners. Nick and Blaine said the Twins will be knocked out by the Yankees in the 2020 postseason.
My sports son.
That's what happens.
Ben said Buxton will get a triple, his first triple of the season at Petco Park in the playoffs. I'm pretty sure that their series would have been played at Dodger Stadium anyways.
You are
right?
correct. So, yeah.
Ben said the ALCS will feature a matchup between 2 AL Central teams. Matt said the Lakers win the finals in 4. Matt also said the Twins will win game 2 by 3 or more runs and hit 3 or more bombs. Woof. Carnage.
The AL Central also in these playoffs was just atrocious.
The NL Central was more atrocious,
Yeah, it was
right?
just as bad.
Didn't all
What a
4
joke.
teams? All 4 teams
Cubs,
whiffed.
Reds.
Cleveland got swept in 2, right? Twins got swept in 2, and the White Sox
forced
won.
3.
They forced 3, but they won 1. So basically, I think the record was 1-6.
In the NL Central, Reds got swept.
Brewers.
Cubs got swept.
Brewers got swept.
Brewers
Same.
and Cardinals
Oh,
got
yeah.
beaten 3.
Oh wow.
Oof.
Congratulations.
Declan Goff You said the Miami Marlins will advance past the Cubs in the wild card round. Speaking of,
Yes!
the Vikings would beat the Texans on Sunday.
Yes!
You said Buxton will hit a leadoff home run in a postseason game, and the Twins will play the Yankees in the playoffs. So nice little 50-50 for
A lot of
Dex
buzzer
there.
A lot of buzzer today.
And that gets us to our updated batting average standings. Judd Zulgad, after all of that, drops just 1 point in his batting average from 424 to 423 with 3 bombs. Rami is
volume
hanging
predictor, boys. That's what I am, a volume predictor.
Rami is hanging tough at 393 with a home run. Declan is sitting at 361 with a home run. I'm all the way down to 275 with just 2 home runs. The listeners are all the way down to 214. I think they were at 270 at one point. John Harrison at 176 with a couple of bombs. Manny Hill up to 175 with 1 home run. So it's still, I would say, mathematically, the listeners are going to have a really hard time. I would say Rami can still win. Declan can still win. I have an outside chance, but Judd Zulgad looking good here.
Your arbitration hearing is not going to go well at this point, Phil.
Nope.
Well, I mean,
like when you take these in, they're going to be like, yeah, but look at your second half.
I do have some queued up that I think are going to come to fruition still, including there was a 3-item parlay with the Lakers that I think is going to come to fruition.
Are you going Cousins? Just when all hope is lost, you come back?
Over to Cousins?
I made a Lakers prediction. I think the Lakers prediction was, it goes back to like before free agency last year. I said they would trade for Anthony Davis. They would win at least 50 games in the regular season, which I believe they barely did, even in the shortened season.
Okay.
And they'll win the championship.
Okay.
And so that would be a home run.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Tie you there.
Way to go, Kirk.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
All right, Dex, all fire up. I think we got Sam here. What's up, Sam?
Oh, nothing much. Just ready to make some predictions.
Hell yeah.
Love it.
And then let's get Mike on the line here, right?
Mike, you there?
Yep, I'm here.
All right.
All right, sweet.
All right, we'll do this way. We're going to go Sam, Mike, Judd, Declan, back to me.
Got it.
In that order, okay? So Sam, Mike, Judd, Declan, back to me. I'm writing that down too, which is why I'm repeating it. Sam, are you here to raise the listener batting average from 214 to something higher, or are you here to raise the home run total?
I'm here to have fun. I can't promise either.
Both teams played hard.
Very Minnesota sports fan of Sam right there.
All right, Sam, you're leading off out of the gate. Just make sure that your prediction is quantifiable in some way.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
Yeah, so I went ahead and named my predictions. Did you say, Mackey, that you are writing down
Declan is.
the predictions, or is Declan is?
I am.
Okay, so this one is called Declan Does That Hockey.
Okay.
Jake Lucchini played hockey at Michigan Tech at the same time that I attended school there. After spending a season and a half in the AHL, he signed an NHL contract with the Montreal Canadiens last week. Write this down. Jake Lucchini will record his first career NHL goal within the Canadiens' first 5 regular season games in the upcoming season.
I like it.
Wow.
I like it. Little pro.
Write it down. You like
there.
writing things down.
All right. Actually, there's a little bit of feedback coming in through Sam's. Am I able to just put Sam on hold?
I think you're good here.
Okay. Mike, are you swinging for the fences, or are you swinging for seeing eye singles? Hold on, Mike. We can't really hear you.
Mike, you there?
Is that better?
Still pretty muffled, man.
Yeah.
How about that?
That's pretty quiet. Are you on your speaker or on your car or something?
No, I'm not actually.
Okay. Here, try this. Actually, try this now. Go ahead. I think I fixed it.
Is that any better?
There we go.
There we go.
All right.
I got you.
Look at that.
That was me.
Look at us. By the way, for those who aren't really like able to see us behind the scenes, I believe this is like a 30-year-old mixing board.
Yeah.
We have taken like a 1991 Plymouth Acclaim and we have tricked it out into like a YouTube Ferrari here.
Mhm.
But there's still some things that make it tough. So, all right, Mike, fire away.
All right. Well, since the Vikings needlessly won a game last Sunday and they ruined our tank for Trevor hopes, I still think Rick's going to go for it this year. And I think the Vikings are going to draft Trey Lance in the first round.
Ooh.
I like it.
Somebody was fighting with me on Twitter about, because I had put the tank for Trey hashtag out last night when I saw the announcement. And somebody was like, well, how do we know if he's going to be good? I don't really care. Like he makes $30 million. He'll make $30 million less, and he's mobile. So you can build the rest of your roster with the idea that he might become a franchise quarterback
And one of us.
and kind of one of us.
Yeah.
All All right, let's go back to Judd.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
Marc-Andre Fleury will be with the Wild next season. Goaltender Marc-Andre Fleury.
How old is he now?
35.
He's in his 30s, yeah. But he will be with the Wild next season in Dinette.
See what you did there.
Uh-huh.
I see what you did there.
I speak his language.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I like it. Okay, Declan?
Write this
All right.
down.
There will be at least 55 points scored between the Vikings and Seahawks on Sunday. There will be at least 55 points scored between the Vikings and Seahawks. Write that down.
Do we have an over-under for that? For that game? It's got to be around 50.
I got to imagine so.
I would hope it is. The Seahawks might score 50 by themselves.
Yep.
Yeah. Actually, we're going to do a deep dive into Viking Seahawks and the quarterback matchup on Purple Daily today. So go check out Purple Daily, Apple, Spotify, ScoreNorth.com, the all-new ScoreNorth.com.
That's right.
We just revamped our website yesterday.
Write this down. Write it down. You like writing things down.
All right, write this down. I don't think I can say this fully because he asked us to keep this on the down low for now. But I will predict, you guys know like what I'm about to predict. Our friend Rami has a chance at a really cool job. I will say Rami will get hired either full or part-time for that particular establishment. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So he will get, and I don't have any inside information. We were all on the same text thread yesterday.
Yep.
All right. Rami will get a full or part-time job. I'll say sometime before the end of 2021, just to put an end date on it.
Okay.
At that particular place.
Okay.
And you'll know, if
Chippendale
you're following
dancer.
our friend Rami, he will, I'm sure, make this announcement. He's getting an opportunity.
Yep.
to showcase something.
Chippendale dancer extraordinaire. He's lost some weight. He's looking good. He's got the thong on. The ladies love Rami. It's all coming together for
I've seen
him.
him break it down.
It's all coming together for him.
Yep.
Hip
Write this
thrusting.
down. Write it down. You like writing things down.
Sam.
Yeah, this one is called The Thing That Comes Off the Board This Week. Of all games played during Week 5 of the 2020 NFL season, no matchup will result in more points than the Minnesota Vikings at the Seattle Seahawks.
I love it. Just a couple of sieve defenses so far this year. Those defenses,
You guys are wrong.
Those defenses are both allowing over 6 yards per play this season. Like the average play results in a 6.5 yard gain when you put these two defenses.
It's going to be a long game on Sunday then.
It's going to be fun.
We could be there for a few
Write
hours.
it down. You like writing things down.
All right, back to Mike.
All right, I've got a 3-item parlay here.
Ooh.
So with all of the rule changes in Major League Baseball this year and the way that it seems to have been liked by everyone, I think they will next season, they will adopt the DH in the National League. They will start all extra inning games with the runner on second, and they will keep the 8-team playoff format.
I'm here for it. I'd rather it be a 7-team playoff format, so you're at least awarding like a first round bye to the best
DH one
record or something. But
is damn near certain, right?
has to be at this point. I would think it has to be. I would agree with all those things. Now, what might give Major League Baseball some pause is the ratings for the first round of games was a disaster. Like they had games under 1 million viewers for the first round.
Write it down. You like writing things down. Write this down.
All right, Judd's again.
Adam Gase, Matt Patricia, and Dan Quinn will be fired either during or after this season, Declan. So Gase, Patricia, and Dan Quinn will all be fired. And here's the key, either during or after this season.
And just to quantify the after part, because after could technically mean in 5 years from now. Can we say within the first month of the season ending or something?
Off
or just
season, yes. The beginning, yes. The beginning
before
of
the league year starts or something.
Yes, that's absolutely fine.
Okay.
I just have to cover myself because I think one or two of these guys might get blown out during the course of this year as well.
I think you had one last year that you said like so-and-so was going to get fired after the season. They got fired in like week 10 and you got it wrong.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I was trying to guard against that.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
This is the write that down computer database doesn't sense intent. It just senses what you're inputting into it.
And it should. It should. That's right.
All right, back to Declan.
All right. Marco Rossi will be in the Wild's lineup on opening night when the next NHL season opens.
Love it.
So Marco Rossi will be in the Wild's lineup on opening night when the next NHL season opens.
Nothing to lose, right?
I really don't.
And if he sucks for 2 weeks, cool.
Yep.
You go to Iowa.
I get to write that down.
Sharpen your
It
skills.
works. Yep. Doesn't matter.
Write this down. Write it down. You like writing things down.
Write this down. Eddie Rosario will not be in a Twins uniform for the start of the 2021 season. I think the Twins are going to get rid of Eddie Rosario via trade. I don't think they would non-tender a guy that drove in like 100 runs 2 years ago.
Right.
But I think they're going to try and find a trade partner.
You never know, do you?
You never know.
It could be. This is the one year where just because of cost and
Yes.
teams taking a bath financially, they could just like elect to not want to pay $10 million for a corner outfielder. And it's possible no one wants to trade for a corner outfielder that makes $10 million because they're all trying to cut money too.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
All right, Sam, your final prediction.
Okay, this one is called Minnesota 4 Verts, and it is a parlay. Stephon Diggs will be named to his first Pro Bowl team this NFL season. Tyler Johnson will record his first NFL touchdown before or during this season's matchup between the Buccaneers and the Vikings.
Wow.
Rashad Bateman will repeat as Big Ten Wide Receiver of the Year. And Justin Jefferson will be named Offensive Rookie of the Month at least once this season.
I love this.
That's great.
4 verts. Love the creativity there. That's a home run. All those things seem like they could happen, but if they all happen in the parlay, it's a home run for sure.
Let me make sure I got this right too, Sam. So you said Diggs will be named to his first Pro Bowl. Tyler Johnson will record his first touchdown by the Vikings and Buccaneers game. And Bateman will win Big Ten Wide Receiver of the Year. And Justin Jefferson wins Rookie of the Month.
Yes.
Okay.
Love it. Cool.
That's really good, man.
Man, Sam, since you've got this platform, is there anyone in your life you'd like to thank getting you to this moment?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to the moose at the Minnesota Zoo. Big part of my formative years, and really is what the Wild should have been named after back in 2000.
Totally
and
agree.
I'm just assuming that he's a fan of the show.
Totally agree with that moose take. The Minnesota Moose is just a much better name.
Yeah.
Much better name. Is this just another Wild trade just come across here?
It did.
Let's do this right now.
Okay.
We'll interrupt for just a second.
I don't like this.
All right, what's the trade? Breaking news all over here.
The Wild will trade Luke Cunnin and the 101st pick to the Nashville Predators for Nick Bonino and the 37th and 70th pick. That is a big trade. I don't like that at all.
Here's my first impression of this. It must mean that they love what they could get with the 37th pick, right? That's a second round pick. They must love the top half of the second round.
Well, and here's your established.
That's for this year, right? The 37th pick tonight.
And here's your established center. But Bonino's 32 years old.
But that might have been. Is it possible that the Wild really, really love what's on top of the second round in the draft here? Maybe. And Nashville's saying, cool, you got to take our 32-year-old and give us something.
It's possible. I need time to digest this. This is not the kid This is not the kid that I thought that they would trade. I thought Greenway would get moved, not Cunnin. So I'm a little bit surprised that Cunnin got moved, but I need time to go through this trade.
And Bonino is a center, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. This basically, to me, what this does is it speeds up the timetable of where Guerin wants this club to be a little bit, and I think that takes a little bit more analysis. Declan's very upset. I'm calm. I'm taking the plane. I'm gonna fly it.
I like what Guerin's doing. He's just shaking everything up.
Oh, he does not.
Take the tree, baby.
Yeah, that was his goal.
Trade a 22-year-old for a 32-year-old, especially one of the guys that's the most core of your young group.
I
hate this.
Unless you love the second round.
They weren't as high.
I hate this.
It became quite clear that they weren't as high on Cunnin as a lot of us had been, Declan. That's what's blatantly obvious here. So
okay.
Sam, thank you. Great predictions. And we're hoping that your 4 verts in particular comes to fruition. Let's go back to Mike here. Your final prediction, Mike. Fire away.
Write this down.
All right. Since Minnesota sports fans, we don't have a whole lot to cheer about in the playoffs. Out of the 4 major sports men's teams, so the Wolves, Twins, Wild, and the Vikings, the Minnesota Timberwolves will be the first team to advance in the playoffs out of the 4.
Wow.
Okay.
That takes some guts right there.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. All right. I mean, if they add a third superstar, I think they get like the 5th seed or something.
Right.
That seems very far away. Mike, you also did an awesome job. Is there anyone in your life you'd like to thank for getting you to this point here?
I would like to thank my wonderful fiance for putting up with me on a daily basis and for turning me on to seltzers.
Attaboy.
Oh, there it is, man. Yeah, this show is powered by Corona Hard Seltzer, and we recommend all 4 flavors in 4 verts forms.
In 4 verts fashion.
That's exactly. Mike, Sam, thank you guys. Great predictions.
Hey, boys.
Say goodbye to those guys real quick. And we go back to Judd for his final prediction.
Write this down.
Oh, man, it's traded.
Yeah, I'm disheveled. right now.
It's shaking me up.
I don't like it.
Cunnin he's a first round pick. How highly touted though has he been?
He was perceived to be captain material, but it became really clear that Guerin didn't like him as much as the previous regime did. And I think the fan base thought, because of, to go back to what you just said, the fact that he was a first round pick, I think the fan base thought that he was not a sure thing to be a star, but a sure thing to be a solid player. This doesn't come as a complete shock. I just thought Greenway would be the guy that Guerin traded, because Greenway, who's got a ton of talent, drove him up the wall.
So this is my amateur hockey observation here, but if you were a first round pick center and you've played large chunks of 3 seasons in the NHL, I feel like you should have more than 23 goals in 131 games.
Yeah, I mean, he had a pretty bad leg injury that rookie year. That took him a while to get back. And last year, he started to shoot the puck more. He scored 15 goals in 63 games. Like, you map that out, that's a 20-goal score over 82 games at 22 years old. I just think it's a pretty big mistake to trade away a 22-year-old with upside like that for a 32-year-old established center who was a UFA after 2021, but I don't like that at all. And I've been for Guerin shaking it up, but I don't like that.
This guy was more probably long-term a wing, though. In Cunnin.
Yes.
So that devalued him, I think, in Guerin's eyes.
Okay.
This speaks to me of being a trade where this sort of clears up what Guerin's timetable is, and it's probably quicker than I think it has to be. Like, I think if you had gone in with a guy, if you had gone in with a center that you didn't love next season and it hadn't been great, but you tried to wait to obtain it, that guy, there's a patient play here. And you know what? Guys like Guerin are not necessarily patient. It's that simple. So
this is in the weeds here, and we'll get back to our final round of predictions here. But if you care about hockey analytics, so there's a stat called point shares. It's a little bit like win shares in other sports, but kind of gives up credit for, like, if your team scores 95 points in a season, or is awarded 95 points for wins and losses, how do you divvy that pie up?
Right.
And both Cunnin and Bonino played almost exactly the same amount of games last year. Bonino, the last couple of years, has been a 4-point player. Cunnin was a 2.5-point player last year with some upside. So I don't know. I'll lean on you guys for this, but
Write it down.
I need more time, damn it. I need more time.
We'll do a full breakdown tomorrow.
I need more time. All right.
Show.
My final write that down for this week is this one. Byron Buxton will play in 120 games or fewer for the Twins next season, which is obviously not good.
And it's a bunt.
Byron
Buxton single, yeah.
Yeah, it's getting to be late in the year. I need to
pad your batting champion.
Keep in mind too that this prediction won't come off the board until next year. So it's not a bunt at all. I'm tracking a pitch here. Okay.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
Right, say what you guys will.
Okay.
Savvy.
Justin Jefferson will have a touchdown against the Seahawks, and he will have a catch of at least 20 plus yards. So I'm not saying they're going to go hand in hand. They could go hand in hand, but they are separate things.
Okay. I like where you're going.
Write this down.
All
right. Final prediction of the week. I hate to do this, but Larry Brown will expire before he coaches again.
Wow.
Expire before he coaches. Okay. So he dies?
Larry Brown.
That's what expires means.
So
we just went there. We just went, write that down, just dealt with death.
Well, I was trying to couch it a little bit by using the word expire.
I wasn't fooled. Like, wow. Write that down. Just went to a very dark place, a very 2020-like place.
Love me some Larry Brown. He's living
I'm
a
sure,
life.
80 years old. He's had a great run. No question.
Write it down. You like writing
You are
things
now
down.
banking on a man. This has become a death pool.
Oh, man. It kind of has. All right. That's a wrap on Write That Down. Every single Wednesday, we make predictions and hold each other accountable.
Write it down. You like writing things down.